Good morning, everybody. On behalf of Department of Botany of Ramniranjan Junjunwala College, I welcome one and all for this online inauguration function for co-curricular activities, Botanica and Pavo Nature Club for the academic year 2020-2021. To begin with, I would like to request our beloved principal and head of the department, Dr. Himanshu Davda, to welcome this online gathering. Sir.
Thank you, Anil sir, and a very good morning to everyone present here. Respected chief guest for today's inaugural function, Vaidya Shri Prashant Anantasuru, former head and principal and currently the director of Hindi Vidya Prachar Samiti Academics, Dr. Usha Mukundan Madam, our mentor and our path leader, Madam. My colleagues from the Department of Botany and Zoology and colleagues from the other departments, and my dear students. It gives me immense pleasure in inviting you all to this inaugural function of Botanica and Pavo Nature Club. Both are much sought after activities of the Department of Botany for many years. Botanica in particular is an annual festival of Department of Botany, which is an event primarily managed by our SY students of Botany under the guidance of TYBSc students of Botany. FI students of Botany are all invitees and PG students and teachers are the mentors. Way back in 1999, the head of the department, Professor Vasanti Chittar, our Chittar madam, floated an idea to have a green campus. And she also proposed that we should have an annual festival of plants. And this festival should not remain open only for the students of Botany or the students of RG College, but we should also have an outreach activity in terms of approaching the children, mainly 8th, 9th, 10th standard students of nearby schools who can also visit the exhibition and gain an insight into the beauty of nature, start loving the environment and plants, and somewhere also get motivated to take up basic sciences as their study program in future. Chittar madam's colleagues then, Dr. Usha, Dr. Date and others take up this idea immediately. And that's how this annual event of Botanica since 1999 every year is being organized based on different themes selected every year. We are also very happy to share with you that seeing this activity of Department of Botany, all other science departments also slowly started their annual festivals under different name. Now I would like to connect this to the most recent feather that is added in the cap of the department is that DBT Star College Department. The Department of Botany is identified as DBT Star College Department. Now, Department of Biotechnology has this Star College scheme primarily to popularize the basic sciences and to make an equal opportunity made available to every student to learn the basic science. So the purpose of popularizing science that we thought starting with the school children has also been now funded by, in a way, DBT to carry this scheme further. So I would like to thank all my teachers, I would like to thank DBT, and above all, I would like to say thanks to the students for the wonderful activity which we are able to do for a very long time. I feel very proud and privileged as a principal to welcome you all for this function, therefore. We have with us our guest speaker. A brief interaction with him shows that he is a very humble, simple, easy to approach and a knowledgeable guest that we have today. And we look forward to learning a lot from Sir today. I appeal to all SY students that the honors lies on you to make this year's Botanica 2020 a grand success. Rest assured that we all are with you at every step in making this event successful. So I welcome one and all for this inaugural function, and we look forward to a wonderful learning day ahead. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your encouraging words. We know that Botanica is a brainchild of our Chittar madam, and then later on it was nurtured by Usha madam along with the departmental colleagues. Today on this occasion, I request Usha madam to bless us and the all children, and please say a few words on this occasion of Botanica inauguration.
So good morning.
Yes, ma'am,
welcome, Vaidya Prashant and Suru. Today we are meeting virtually, but I'm very sure you will come to Jhunjhunwala College and become an integral part of the college family. We are very proud to be a part of the botany department, which even though I was the principal and the current principal is also from the department, our first love is the plant and the botany department. So any opportunity to be with the students, to discuss about plants, we would never like to miss. That is because we have a very vibrant student community which comes in every year after year. And all teachers share the same enthusiasm as mine, because Botanica and the nature trails carried out by Power Nature Club are two events which are running throughout the year. Even though we have the annual fest at the end of the year in December, November last or December, but still the small, what you can say, activity and the discussion starts among the students as to how they can participate effectively and enjoy the entire event. It brings back very nostalgic memories, how we used to have it on the ground floor, and then we felt that moving up and down, and then not having many students coming in because it was in a different place, we shifted to the department which is more closer to our heart, so that all the school children and our own children can visit these activities. Chittar madam, when she started, and I was just recalling, these days we are all talking about immunomodulators or a healthy diet. Chittar madam always felt that you are what you eat, you are what you think. And the first year when she had an array of very nice vegetable soups which were made by our children, and these were not cooked. And she said they have to mention the nutrient values and how they can provide the required nourishment to otherwise very frail youngsters. So eating habits among youngsters can also be improved through these exhibitions. I wish all the best to this gala event, whether it is going to be virtual or it is going to be by maintaining social distancing. Time alone will tell, but one thing should always remain, that is the enthusiasm. Enthusiasm to learn, enthusiasm to think differently, enthusiasm to do something different but in a better manner, enthusiasm to serve the society in a better fashion, to take care of the school children who otherwise do not get an opportunity to see any of the specimens in their own premises, and they look forward coming to Jhunjhunwala College. I thank our very honored guest for today, and being an Ayurvedic doctor, I'm sure he's going to also throw light on the different medicinal plants which are used. However, having said that, botanist can only provide a supplementary role, not become an Ayurvedic doctor. So you require a practitioner who is well versed, who has been trained in it, and they should only practice. So if anybody has a misconception that botanists can start practicing, please don't do that. You have to take care of the plants. You are good at identifying the plants. So always develop the skill sets which you have to develop. And as botanist, your prime area would be to recognize the plants, to identify them correctly, and in drugs which are available to find out using different tools whether they are genuine or not. So once again, I extend a very warm welcome to our guest, and I'm also looking forward to listening to you. And thank you very much for this opportunity. I thank all my colleagues for their continued support. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, I would like to share before you a small presentation to summarize all the activities of Botanica and Pavo Nature Club. All these photographs are from the last year's activity. Botanica, the brainchild of Mrs. Chittar Madam, our teacher and ex-head Department of Botany, for the students to showcase the diversity of plants, their amazing facts and applications. It also provides a platform to our young and aspiring botanists to learn various aspects of plants. The whole exercise helps the students to imbibe leadership qualities, team building, time management, and communication skills. The activities of Botanica are spread throughout the academic year. In the first phase, we do inauguration. Like today, we are having the inauguration for this academic year. In the second phase, we have an exhibition by the students and for the students. Along with this, we also have the intercollegiate competitions like floral rangoli and intracollegiate competitions like quiz competition. Last year, in August 2019, we had inauguration by Ms. Neelam Jorwar from Saurabh Pratishthan, Akole. She is working in the field of wild vegetables and upliftment of tribals. This is during annual exhibition, December 2019. Last year's activity was inaugurated by Mrs. Patinkar, principal of Saraswati High School, and she's also the alumni of Department of Botany. These are the students who are showcasing their group activities. This is our main lab. This is especially for Prashant sir because he has not visited our college. There are almost 10 to 12 different groups of SYBSC. Along with this, there was one very special activity presented by our MSc students. They prepared a Divyang garden, a first of its own unique concept, a garden model proposed by these especially for Divyangajan, where they by quality time. A small example, there are plants, suppose a person is visually impaired, but still with the smell, aromatic smell or otherwise, they can identify certain plants. So likewise, the garden was planned by these MSc students, especially for Divyangajan. And this garden was inaugurated on 3rd of December, which is a Divyang Day. This is the same model. The winning groups get the participation certificates as well as prizes. These are some of the snaps from the last year. Along with that, especially for FIBSC students, quiz competition is conducted, and these are the winners of the same. As sir has mentioned, especially we are trying to connect to the students from the locality, from the different schools. So nearby, there are 4 to 5 different schools, and we invite all schools, and we are proud of our students. They only carry out the invitation and conduction of all these activities. Along with that, we also conduct the intercollegiate floral Rangoli competition for last more than 10 years. These are the students preparing floral Rangoli. 1 hour time is given to them, and they have to come out with the best of the drawings. Chandra madam and Soman madam were the judges for the last intercollegiate floral Rangoli competition. These are the winners. Along with Botanica, we are also having Pavo Nature Club, which is a co-curricular activity with a mission, nurture nature for our future. We are a climate ambassador project partner in Mumbai Stock project under the guidance of NGO Srishti Gyan, Mumbai, and Future Earth, Sweden. Our thrust areas are climate change, solid waste management, and e-waste management. Every year we have an annual function in which the students who have contributed immensely in creating awareness about all these thirst areas among the school children, they are felicitated. So we have these students named as climate ambassadors, and in annual function they are felicitated. Last year we were felicitated by Supriya Sureji, the member of parliament. So these are some of the activities which I have shared from last year's, and we are continuing to doing it for last more than 20 years of Botanica as well as Pavo Nature Club. Sir, now we are moving towards our today's main function, the inaugural talk. And for inauguration, we have today Vaidya Prashant Anantasuru, and who is a distinguished personality. And to introduce to him, whose CV is running for more than 3 pages, I have pleasure of inviting my dear colleague, Dr. Nisha Muni, who is happened to be the schoolmate of Prashant sir. Nisha madam.
Hello. I'm here.
Yeah, thank you, madam.
Hello. Good morning to all. And I'm taking this privileged opportunity to introduce our today's guest, Vaidya Prashant Suru. On behalf of Hindi Vidya Prachar Samiti and Department of Botany RJ College, I extend heartiest welcome to all dignitaries, teachers and students for today's function of Botanica and Pavo Nature Club activity inauguration. I feel highly privileged to introduce our guest speaker, Vaidya Prashant Suru, on prestigious event today. I wish to begin with a special note of pride that today's guest, Prashant, is my school classmate from our very own school, Balmohan Vidya Mandir, and also during 11th and 12th standard from DG Ruparel College. Few days back, during our online meeting program of our school friends, I asked Prashant to deliver an informative talk for all my students, and he agreed for it with a happy smile on face. When I received his biodata, I was taken aback for a while by his highly impressive list of professional and academic achievements. I'm glad to share few of them on this platform today for you all. Vaidya Prashant Suru obtained his MD degree in Ayurved Shalakya or Ayurved Vachaspati in 1990 from Tilak Ayurved Mahavidyalaya, University of Pune. Professionally, he is an Ayurved consultant and his specialization is Panchabhautik Chikitsa. Vaidya Prashant Suru has creditable 33 years of teaching in India and abroad. He is working as an Ayurved consultant since 1987 in Pune, Mumbai and Sangli, and also has practiced in Mauritius, some European countries, UAE and Kenya too. He is a globe-trotter for Ayurvedic propagation and education of the same. He is the recipient of prestigious award Ayurveda Bhushan of Ayurveda from Sandu Vaidya Prashant, honorary teacher at Ayurveda Institute of America at California, Kerala Ayurveda Academy, and many institutes at global levels. He has many scientific research publications, papers, periodicals in national and international levels in his credits. He is the recipient of Best Research Guide Award from FIAM for 3 consecutive years and also as a Best Orator of University of Pune. He is an author of 2 books, Athato Panchabhautik Jidnyasa and Sahaj Sopa Ayurved in his credit. On his social contributions, he has done commendable work. He has served as the Chief Trustee of Alandi Devasthan and Pramukh of Palakhi Sohla, which is very well known from Maharashtra. He is actively engaged in child theatre for more than 20 years and directed many dramas, including the famous Muktai with 300 shows. So, all of you, I feel fortunate to have such a laudable speaker guest for today's program. Now I request Dr. Prashant Suru to take up the platform and also declare the opening of Botanica and Pavo Nature Club activity in 2021. Thank you all, and over to you, Anil sir, for beginning.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, madam. Now I request Prashant sir to give his talk on Ayurveda botanical perspectives. And sir, please declare that the activities for Botanica and Pavo Nature Club for academic year 2020-21 are open. Over to you, sir. Hello, Prashant sir.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, yes.
Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. My dear friends, let me thank you. Let us pray with Shri Ganesh, the herbal Ganesh you can see, and Santa Jnaneshwar Mauli, a God who gives knowledge to all. I must thank my Guru, Gruhatrai Ratna Vaidyaraj Datar Shastri. I am a disciple of him, and he taught me about philosophy and Ayurveda and everything related to Adhyatma as well. Today, on this very much occasion of inaugural session of Botanica and Power Nature Club, I declare for 2020 and 2021 years, this session and the functions are inaugurated and are free, open for all of you. The topic given for me is Ayurvedic perspective 2 of botany, and I must thank the organizers, my sincere gratitudes to all of you, and best wishes to my dear friends, my students. See, when we thought how it started, the quest started, who am I? How am I? I come from where? Why I am in existence? And then the humankind, the mankind started musing upon, and that brings all the life sciences to think something about. Many life sciences, out of which botany is one of them, very important. There is a little change in the word Ayurveda, Ayushasya Veda. It's a science of life instead of life science. Though it is a science, it is life science, it is science of life, telling something about the life. Why, how much, what, and how we can maintain our life. It deals mainly with the mind, body, and soul as well. The modern medicines till today was in search of body only. Then they thought mind is very much important. Psychosomatic disorders are there. And now WHO has declared that mind, body, and soul should be considered for the healthy person's life. And that is the basic, the whole and the holistic approach of Ayurveda is very important. Ayurveda is always right. Once you start musing upon Ayurveda, it doesn't leave anything. Nothing is left. All the science, arts, and all other factors are considered, including psychology, philosophy, botany, zoology, and whatnot. All the chemistry and all. The perspective of Ayurveda starts, the thought process is from subtle, the miniature, minute, to the gross, and where modern science takes gross to subtle level, the smallest undivided particle. But Ayurveda starts from sukshmas to the gross, sthula. You know, basic principle of Ayurveda is as in nature is in human body. As it is in nature, 5 gross elements are present in permutations and combinations in the body. You can see on your side that the human figure predominant, though the whole body is of every cell is Panchabhautika, made up of 5 gross elements. The predominance of Akasha is on the head part, then the neck and chest is predominant of Vayu, then the digestive part related to the Teja, Apa, Jala, watery content, excretas and all other things, secretions, and a steady stable Prithvi. Loka Purusha Samya Siddhanta, Yavantav Loke Tavantav Dehe, the meaning is straight as is in nature, is in human body. The 5 gross elements you must be all aware, but I'm just taking a brief look to it. Akasha, the space, the ether, the vacuum, subtle, soft. It allows everything to happen within. It's an omnipresent thing. Shabda is a special quality, sound. And to hear is the sense which we have. Even the plants. Vayu, the power of movements, actions, fast, moving, light, dry, cool, rough, subtle, the touch. Sparsha is the sensation. Tej, the digestive power, power of digestion, transformation. Nutrients are created with hot, sharp, subtle, and bright qualities. Rupa, the visualization, is because of Teja only. Jala, the power of cooling and binding with Sneha, the anxiousness in the body, oleation, fluidity, liquidity, all that liquid things, rasa, the test, and all secretions in the body are because of predominance of jala. The power of strength, solid, stable, heavy, gross, even in nature, which holds everything together in our body as well, the shape and the odor, the gandha, the smell is a specific quality or the sense for Panchamahabhutas. It is well said in Ayurveda that sarvam dravyam panchabhautikam asmin arthe. Every matter we observe made up of 5 gross elements in the nature. Even every cell, the plant cell, the human cell, of any of the zoological cell, it is made up of Panchamahabhutas, and Panchabhautik nature is described. When we say the simile of human body constituents to herbs, the plants kingdom, one has to get acquainted of both living body and herbs with help of these 5 sense organs all. Let me tell you a small story of a Vaidya sage. In old days, you must be well aware that the Vaidya was staying at village, used to visit their patients to their home. One of his disciples was accompanying him at that day for the first time. They were walking from their clinic, the place of Vaidya, to the patient's residence through the paddy fields and everything in nature. They were just looking down for that mud and everything was mess. Rainy season was there. The Vaidya reached to the patient's home, checked him, came back, and at the same time, he asked his disciple, "What did you see?" He said, "Oh, nothing. It was very difficult to walk on that stony road with mud and everything." The Vaidya said to the student, "See, your eyes were looking somewhere, but at the same time, you should have seen there were very different and very beautiful plants around. They were useful for your diagnosis. They were useful for the treatment as well. Why didn't you see them?" Next time, he said, "I will see that." Next visit, when he came back, he asked, "What did you see?" He said, "Oh, I see a herb called as Eclipta alba. I see a herb called as aloe vera and something." Vaidya said, "Your eyes were seeing somewhere what your ears were doing. I was chanting the shlokas of the qualities of those. Why didn't you listen them? You should use that." Next time he said, "Okay, I will hear them." He said, "Why not? You chant them together with me. Your tongue is free to do that at the same time. If you are walking, your legs are walking, you can see something, you can touch them, you can smell them. So your 5 organs should activate their activities, use them for diagnosis, use them for observations, and use your 5 sense organs for every single opportunity to be grabbed." A Vaidya should learn skills and qualities about plants from every possible field experience. It was mentioned in Ayurveda that Gop, Vanachar, Adivasis, Dhangar, evam Pratyaksha Abhyas will help you. The easy meaning of it, maintain cattle. Those who are maintaining cattle, the tribe people, Adivasis, and the shepherds, and other people who are in naturally habitat, continuously staying with them and learning with them, you should learn without keeping your ego. So once you start leaving your ego and start learning, you will get a lot from nature. You should care nature so that in future nature cares for you. That is the thing what we are not doing today. We should care nature. Ayurvedic divisions of all dravyas, the matter, divided into 3 parts basically. First is ahara, the diet, food. Annad bhavati purusha. As it is rightly said, what you eat is your body, what you eat is your mind. So you should make your diet as your food, and it should, or that is should be your medicine as well. Otherwise, irreversible, you have to take medicines like diet. So to avoid that, you take proper ahara at proper time as per prescribed of Ayurvedic dinacharya. What to do? It's called as daily regime. Then you have to follow the seasonal regime called as rutucharya. And the third thing, which is ratri charya, you should take good sleep as well. My friends, in this your younger age, you must be very much crazy and fussy and fanatic about your all these new apps and your mobiles and all other things. Better to avoid them at night. Get proper sleep. Proper sleep keeps health. So to keep your health, your diet and sleep and mind and thought, which is called as achara rasayana. It is rasayana means it is not only chemical, but what do you take care for behaving in nature? How you should take care of nature as well. So everything makes sense for your constitution, body, and the health, mind as well. So for that, ahara, the diet which nourishes, enhances, maintains body, all that is important. Yesterday only, our Prime Minister said, Yatha annam tatha manam. He said rightly in yesterday's Man Ki Baat. That is ahara, which helps for keeping our diet. Dhatu pradushana, vyadhi kara. That means causative for ill health. The toxic herbs, toxic food, we have to avoid this. And what you should take if you get ill in those conditions, vyadhi hara, the curative diet or the curative medicines, herbs are to be used. Herbo-mineral preparations are used in Ayurvedic field. Ayurveda has rightly mentioned ahara, visha, and aushadhi are the three parts, out of which nothing is anaushadha. Everything has medicinal value that depends upon the dose, that depend upon how you detoxify that thing and use it as a medicine in your diet, and how frequently in proper season you take your herbs. You know that life cycle of basic plant starts from seeds, roots and stems, then skin, hard core, tendons, then the leaf, fluid, juice, nectar. It goes to flowers as well as to the fruits, and the end point or the big, it depends whether we say bija is the first or the bija is the end product, egg or hen. That law persists for the life cycle of all. Ayurveda applies the law of Samanya Vishesha. Samanya are the similar things and Vishesha are the different. That means if you use similar things to enhance similar qualities in your body, they help you. For example, if you want to get rid of your thirst, you should take the juice. Don't chew the fruit. You should take the juice. But when you need bulk and heaviness and hard, then in that condition you have to take the earth quality of it, the same powder or the crush and the pulp. It is important. The dravya, selection of any herb as per our ecological, environmental, economical conditions and qualities, structures, parts of our plant kingdom. The qualities include all Panchamahabhuta sensations, sound, touch, the vision, the look, taste, smell, and then another 20 attributes are said in Ayurveda. Then, as per the predominance of 5 gross elements, predominant Akashiya, that is predominance of Akasha, Vayaviya, predominance of Vayu Mahabhuta, then predominance of Teja, hot, sharp, cutting, bright, light, like this, then the up, and then at last the earth quality. Specific best species are chosen as per their acid alkaline law called as Amlakshara Siddhanta. The basic, neutral, catalyst, these are the actions. Ayurveda explains 7 parts, 7 things. Dravya, the matter is the most important, in which you have to select the dravya according to the quality, that is gunas, karma, that is the actions of that particular drug, rasa, the taste, virya, whether it is hot or cold in nature, and that depends. And then the vipaka, the after digestive effect, and prabhava, it is called as a special quality of that particular herb or the matter or dravya. The best thing one should not forget, Ayurveda has advocated hitabhuk, mitabhuk, and rutabhuk. Hitabhuk, you should, bhuk is to eat, to ingest. What you ingest should be digested properly, then it should be absorbed in the body. The nutrients are carried to the parts of the body, and then that whole body is maintained. Ayurveda suggests hitabhuk, you should eat which is good for your body, useful for your body. Sometimes some sweets are good for some patients, but are not good for some patients. So for them, that is their what we call as pathya and apathya. So what you eat should be absorbed, digested first, absorbed, and nutrients are taken to your body parts. So that is important. Eat which is good for your body. Eat less. Less means it should not be inadequate. It should be proper, but it should not be very heavy. It should not. If I like batate vada and I go on eating 6 or 7 vadas, are going to harm me. If I test one vada, may not harm me. So it might be hitakar up to a certain amount. So matra, desha, kala, rutu, vaya, and everything. Something is good. For example, bhel is good for digestion up to your age. But at the age of mine, at 57, I may not digest the amount what you eat the bhel. So I should be careful while eating what amount I'm going to eat and which quality of food I'm taking. Because food is going to make my body, mind and soul happy. Sukha kara. Kha is akasha. So your kha, if it is soothable, soothing, then it is called as sukha. Which is not good, then it is called as dukkha. Our body, the intelligence tells us which is good. Which is good is our like, and what we call is as ichha. The things which are going to trouble us, we will avoid them. It is called dvesha. So ichha according to the sukha, dvesha according to the dukkha, the intelligence, buddhi, tells us what to do, and that is called as prayatna, the action, and our body naturally makes that. If we get that signal and if we follow the signal, then we will be happy and in prasanna atma, indriya and mana. So that gives you swastha vrutta, the health. And to keep your health, you should eat little to satisfy your body. It should not be too much. It should not be inadequate. Malnutrition should not be there. According to the seasonal changes, according to the kala, what we say. For example, if it is rainy season, you need warm with ginger and something. But if it is very hot, you should take the lemon juice and water liquids, amaras, panna, and something else. In winter, you may like to have a little extra food which you can digest in that time, because that depends upon your power of digestion, called as Agni. Ayurvedic perspective for the trees, selection of drug depends upon the tall trees. They have strength. Medium trees like mangoes and all, and the small trees, it is divided into again shrub, bush, herbs, weak plants. As in nature, they will create into your body. The prosthetic, tweening, and the parasites. For example, you must be well aware of the parasites. They depend upon some other tree to nourish themselves. These things which we are getting parasitic plants, we do use them for the side effects of the original disorder. There are some indications, what we call as symptoms, signs of a disease due to the prior diseases. To get rid of this prior disease and to avoid side effects, these parasites are useful. Instead of using different things, I will give you some example. For example, you know the climbers. Ayurveda has described Sutra Rohini, Mula Rohini, Patra Rohini. Badisha Rohini, that means the root climbers, tendrils, hook climbers, and even leaf climbers, they have different qualities within. So we have to select for the nerve roots of your body to the lower parts and nerves at downwards direction. Roots are used in conditions where you need exchange of gases and metabolic changes. Then Patra Rohini are used. When it is about something nodes and all, Badisha Rohini or the hook climbers are used. For the tendons and all, at the joint part, we use tendrils. Columnar roots, you must have seen of the banyan columnar roots, have a similar look to the what we call as a varicose veins. So we use columnar roots, making their oil or the preparations for applications externally as well as internal medicine. We use these columnar roots for the varicose veins of banyan tree. And this is one of example. Once you start thinking on these basis, as in nature is in body, you start thinking of it. Underground stems, spikes, shoots, nodes, internodes, even the thorns of the tree will give you some idea where, how, and when to be used. The water plants and the desert plants are different qualities. I'll give you one example. Selection of a drug depend upon its origin, how it is started or its birthplace, the ecological area. For example, somebody has a problem with the maturation. They don't have a proper urination. Then we have to select a drug. One drug where urination is not formed properly. So water content should be more. And in such conditions, to increase the water content, we use lotus, which is in water. You must be well aware of all these things. But sometimes the urination is produced, but it is not flowing properly. In such conditions, we do use vada, which is available near the flowing, you can say a river or something, which the water flows. The another called as musta. Musta is rotundus, which is having quality of digestion, cooling in action, and still it is from the flowing water. So selection of drug depends upon from where that particular plant is originated and its ecological structure. Lifespan of a particular plant is also important. What we eat is converted into the body. For example, you must be well aware all ran bhajis or the leafy vegetables, green leafy vegetables has short lifespan. Instead of that, the big trees and other things have big lifespan. For giving strength to your shortest time, you can have leafy vegetables, but they won't survive you for long. To give you strength, all dry fruits are last longing, and for them, you can rely on them to get strength for last longing body energy. Like that, we are all aware, it is called as kalpa vruksha. Coconut tree is said to be the kalpa vruksha. The every part of that tree, including the roots, the stem, even the fruit, inside and outside, everything is used. So that idea of Ayurveda, to use the plant according to its natural environment. We do use seeds, fenugreek is used, kapikachu is used, Mucia prurens. The roots of different trees, there are very different types of fruits. You know that tap roots and different roots are used according to their qualities. Dashamula is a quality, a group of roots which is used for vata dosha, giving strength, called as 10 roots. Columnar roots, as I mentioned about banyan tree. Rhizomes, we do use Jatamausi, normal stretches Jatamausi, and Kukutnaki, the folk medicine, easily available in Mathiran hills. You must have seen, it's a type of fern species called as Pteris aquilina or Pteris ensiformis or something like that. We have to confirm the botanical name for that particular Kukkutanaki. It is a folk medicine used by Thakar people from there. They use it especially for their horses for the scorpion bites, even for the joint pains and other things. That is used for the edema or the glands or the glandular structures, granulomas and other. So even in cancer patients, we do use kukut nakhi as per its quality. Stems are used. The strength, Acacia catechu, you must be knowing about. Khadira, hard structure, brown and good strength is used for Agni and for skin. But water content is more in banana stem, and that is used for cooling action after the disorders like inflammatory conditions, especially what we call as a herpes zoster, herpes simplex, and similar disorders, inflammatory conditions, cellulitis or burns, all inflammatory conditions. Leaves are used. The betel leaf is used for digestion. You are well aware, vasa is called as antidote for the cough and cold, Adhatoda vasica. Nimba leaves are used for washing, external wound cleaning, and antiseptic, anti-allergic, antihistaminic activities. The skin, the bark of trees are used. Banyan tree, peepal tree, Ficus racemosus, Ficus religiosa, and all these things. Panchavalkala, the 5 big trees, their skin is used for giving strength to your skin as well. The non-healing wounds can be used, can be covered with using these things. Non-healing bones, non-healing wounds, we will use this Panchavalkal in such conditions. For fermentation process, as in nature is in body, the Dhataki, Moha, these flowers are used. Many flowers are used in our medicines. You are well aware for the walnuts, as they look, you must have seen their nature, how they look. It looks like exactly to the brain, the sulci and gyri, and hence with that anxious nature, oiliness within the walnuts are very useful. Even for that, almonds are used for the brain. Apricot, the soft outer side, like our skin and mouse, what we call flesh. Then the inner side, the hard, tough skin. And then if you break that, you get the soft almond within. And that is good for brain enhancement. Even nutmeg. We use bamboo shoots, bamboo nodes in different way. Shoots are used for the vata as it goes downwards. When we say oils, which is the best oil to eat in our Maharashtra content or Maharashtra area, we normally prefer the groundnut oil, because groundnut contains oil which goes underground, downward direction, which takes your unwanted waste, fecal matter and all other things with oiliness to downward direction. We don't normally use coconut oil in our diet, because as per the climate, we prefer groundnut which goes downward. Normally, groundnut oil is not applied to hair, because hair is a part which is predominant of akasha, and hence for that akasha part, on the top of the tree you get coconut, and that coconut oil is the best for your hair. And otherwise we get sugar cane. Nodes of sugar cane is also used for joints. I mentioned that bamboo nodes contain small powder within called as Vansha Lochana. In that akasha, in the vacuum, you get some powder, and which is very good, especially like for the cough and cold, the phlegm in chest, and to the joint pains, and to enhance your immunity. In today's condition, to avoid any of the viral infections, we do prescribe Sitopaladi Churna, Haridra, and Tulsi, and easy things like Glycasia glarba, called as Jashti Mother, Mulaithi in Hindi. They are good. Many other qualities of the tree parts we do aspect. The botany and botanists can help us in their scientific ways with their pharmacognosy, with pharmacodynamics, with pharmacological therapeutics use, then the administrative methods of Ayurvedic way, pharmacy procedures to produce medicine. Then here ecology is important, the ethnobotany, how to collect, when to collect, how to preserve the flora to be used in later conditions. And here we should think that botany science should help Ayurveda for their enhancement. The botanical nomenclature and classification will help us to determine exact particular plant. For example, as we know, the Bhumya malaki, called as Philanthus niruri or amarus, is used in conditions of viral infections. The Philanthus niruri is easily available, but we cannot diagnose if it is Philanthus niruri or amarus, though the more active principles are observed in Philanthus amarus. Easily available is Philanthus niruri. It is generally called as Bhumya malaki. When I'm producing something medicinal value, then I should get a proper botanical classified, diagnosed, and perfectly known tree or the plant. Selection, standardization of my medicine of a particular species. For example, if I want a mango, general mango is not important. When we say the best test is of Alfonso mango, called as Ratnagiri Hapus, isn't it? So selection of that particular tree from the particular area, from the particular climate, in the particular season, everything is important. That ecological study. Plantation and cultivation in future is most important. Devrais, my daughter, myself, are interested to preserve Devrais, to preserve Ayurvedic plants for future generations. So to develop them for the rare plants like Ashoka, Pushkarmul, one has to contribute from your side. Monograms and research from botanists will help us for our future and yours to keep your health normal as well. Many research are possible. If you are the student from FY, SY and TY BSc of botany, you can take one out of this as a project. Amla and Kshara Kalpana, the acid-base titration you must be aware of. But the acid, Amla and Kshara Kalpana, according to Ayurveda, give acid, alkaline, salty, or the basic, or the neutral, udasina, what we say. Or sometimes there are a dhamasa called as yavasa, has qualities like ubhaya dharmi. Sometimes if you give it with amla dravyas, it acts like acid. If you use it with kshara dravyas, it gives you effect of ksharas. And though so, there are some queries in our mind as well. Haridra, having pH less than 7, acidic in nature in normal conditions. But once it has a digestive process in our body, the after effect of eating Haridra gives higher pH, that is more than 7, and acts like an alkali. So if you try to make some research projects like this, even the fruits, citrus fruits, though they are citrus and acidic in nature, the after effect of these fruits of digestion will be alkaline in nature. Many times we get stuck with this. So I request you, you can take such projects in your hand and help us for the future, for selection of proper medicines, getting standardized medicines, standardized powders, bulk, and cultivation in future, plantation, and many more things. It is just like a Niagara flowing. Water never stops. Actually, the knowledge is a free flow for everybody. Every science, it may be a life science or a science of life, it goes on flowing, and I try whatever the handful knowledge I have, I am keeping in front of you for your queries, and you can do your research and help me for your science to enhance and to enhance my science as well. It was a great exchange of my thoughts, what I can put in short time. It is a little hurried and a small presentation. I can go on talking on one drug for 3 years, 4 years, because studying takes a lot of time. I'm using for 33 years and I'm very happy with the plants and in nature. I love to take care for nature so that the nature will take care of mine. For healthy life, I wish you all happy, healthy, prosperous life and great exchange of your knowledge to other life sciences and to enhance Atmanirbhar Bharat. So I wish you all happy and best wishes in your life. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. I request students, if you have any doubts, anything related to Ayurveda, related to botanical perspectives, or simply anything you want to ask to sir, you can put your queries in the chat box. I'll take up the queries.
It will be ideal if you read and ask me anything.
Yeah. Yes, students, feel free to ask queries.
If there are two things, one thing, the lecture should be nissamshaya karanam. That means there are no questions remain, or they don't understand what I said. That is the reason
Yes.
they are not asking me anything.
Yeah.
Either I have cleared everything or I have not cleared anything. Yes. I can read one question, that
Yeah.
some good medicines for general health. See, the diet should be our medicine. Whatever we eat, the carbohydrates will give normal bulkiness and strength required. The proteins will provide you the energy and all other things. The triangle you must have seen. You should have full food. Shad rasatmak ahar. All the six tastes, the sweet, the sour, the salty, the hot, pungent one, even the bitter and the astringent. All six tastes should be administered in your diet every day in a proportionate way. Don't go with only I am eating only hot and pungent things. Don't do that. If you are not having any disease, it is better to control your all the six tastes in particular amount according to your digestive power, called as Agni. So that depends upon your everybody's digestive power. Some person can digest much. There are few who can eat whatever and digest it. There are few who can eat little but digest in a proper way. There are few who eat very little and cannot digest, or otherwise those who eat going on eating and cannot digest anything and suffer a lot. So diseased people are not in ease. Whatever they eat is not digested, is converted into the troublesome gases and other things and indigested matter called as amber, the toxic in the body, which remains into the body. The atherosclerosis takes place and all these things because of your diet. So the first and foremost, you should take care of your diet. Next thing, to enhance according to your age. Sometimes in younger age, shatavari, you must be well aware of asparagus racemosus, is good for the female tonic, and Vitamina somnifera, which is called as ashwagandha for the elderly people and for the male. For giving strength, you can have very simple, easy, available. Which medicine I should take or which herb I should take? The best, easy possible, which is available in my area, should be consumed. For example, Punjabi person eating choles and rajmas can digest that in his country or that environment, but it is not good for our area to digest that. He likes that, but he never takes, especially the groundnut oil and all other things. They prefer to have makai ki roti and sarson ka saag because that is easily available and needed according to their climate, desha, kal, rutu, vaya, the age. All these factors are considered to get rid of your any of the unwanted growth in your body and to get malnutrited. So what you eat according to your desha, kala, rutu, vaya is important, depend upon your digestive power as well. As I mentioned about Shatavari, Ashwagandha, there are very few things. Tulsi can be taken in today's day. Tulsi leaves to improve your immunity. Then Jyeshtimad, Mulaithi, or it is called as Glycericia glarba, for Chedana, Kafat Chedana, to get rid of flame and cough and cold. You can take them to improve your sore throat and other things. A pinch of ginger, dried ginger powder, shunthi, is useful for digestion. Even black pepper powder, Piper nigrum, is useful. Piper longum, pimpali, is useful. A pinch of it is in your food. If you just sprinkle it a little on with your salad, you can have it every day. Ghee is also must for digestion. To avoid ghee is not good. Minimum something to burn and to consume everything of your protein. The oiliness is also required to the body. So those who work hard physically more, those should go for the oils, and those who work more with the brain should consume little oil but little extra ghee. The pure ghee it should be like this. Ayurveda has much more. If I go on talking about the daily regime of what we call as a dinacharya, it takes another 3 days. I can go on talking, and being a professor, I have a habit to talk. At least nobody disturbs me. I can go on talking for 3 hours without ringing a bell.
Hello, sir. There are a couple of messages.
Yes.
Sir, our students have also done some projects, and they just wanted to tell you the same. My colleague is also there, Dr. Veena Kedkar. Under her guidance, they have conducted some experiments, assignments. Haridra, that is Haldi as a pH indicator. So that is a project they have done. And there are a couple of more questions also, like can cancer be cured by Ayurveda?
I am in field of treatment of cancer for more than 30 years. I am a trustee to a hospital called as Integrated Ayurveda Research Center, recognized by Government of India, Ayush Department, and Bhabha Atomic Research Center, where we have under one roof Ayurveda along with the chemo, radiation, surgery, and all other modern treatments. Yet today, we have conquered is not a proper word, but we can promise you for the betterment of life, lifespan, and to get rid of the symptoms, side effects of cancer. Nobody has yet claimed cure, because cure, that means at the time of the death, there should not be any lesion of any cancer at that particular point. It is not, otherwise I would have been a Nobel laureate for that.
Yes.
We are treating cancer, we are expressing our and giving strength, consoling to the patients as well for their betterment of life, for their healthy lifespan to increase. They can do their normal life routine work and other things with using Ayurveda for long. I have some patients living with post-cancer treatment for more than 25 years now.
Great.
That is an achievement for us. We don't claim cure. Cure is a improper word for that.
Correct. And I guess the people are doing panchakarma, the chances of having cancer itself would be comparatively lesser.
Panchakarma is a cleansing method,
Cleansing, correct.
especially in the body by Ayurveda. So it is good for everybody to prevent disease, to get rid of the disease, and to enhance your immunity as well. So it can be done in a particular age group, not before 8 and not after 65. It is not ideal to that. And if you want to do the panchakarma as manuscripts has mentioned, or according to the basic principles of Ayurveda, you should take care in a proper way. In hurry, in worry, and in curry, you should not follow panchakarma.
Correct, correct. So there is one more question by Anmol.
Hmm.
He is from Uttar Pradesh,
Yeah.
and they are living in Mumbai for quite
Yeah.
a long time, but
Hmm.
still they are using mustard oil. So
Hmm.
they are asking, is it as advisable to use mustard oil?
There are two things. One thing, you get accustomed with what you eat from the beginning. For
It is
example,
in the
a people
genes.
from Kola, it is in your genes. If you are
Genes.
easy, it is according to Ayurveda, it is called as Okasatmya. You are made your body habitual to digest that particular thing. But the one who is not that much, who is staying in Mumbai
Yes.
from his birth and using the same oil which is used, mustard oil used in Uttar Pradesh, it is not ideal because the climate over Uttar Pradesh is quite cool, having Ganga river and its environment. At that place, that warm oil is required,
Correct.
and which is not ideal in Pune, Mumbai, or such countries,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
So it is ideal to have, see, you can eat whatever the sour and hot things, pungent things in southern area, in the coastal region. You are supposed to take that amla dravyas like sambar, rasam, tamarinds, and tomatoes and all other things, but are not advisable every day for here in Mumbai, Pune, or in Nagpur as well.
Okay.
So according to your area, Desh, you should think.
So there is one more question by Sneha. Does Ayurvedic system of medicine has a plus point over
Many.
conventional medicine? Conventional.
What is conventional?
I think Ayurveda is our conventional.
It is called as indigenous medicine.
Yeah, indigenous.
It is our Sanskruti. As I mentioned, it is a science of life. It is not a medicinal science. It is a science of
Science
life
of
to
living.
maintain your day-to-day routine and body and maintain it. For the aim of Ayurveda is to hita hitam sukham dukkham ayustasya hita hitam manam cha taccha yatroktam ayurveda sa uchyate. Ayurveda is said to maintain your life. What is hitakara, good for you, ahitakara, not good for you, and to describe them, to do those good things and avoid bad things in your mental, physical, psychological, philosophical, what we call as an achara rasayan. All these things matter for you, and it is an art of life, science of life, but I can say an art of life of indigenous Sanskruti. It is our Sanskruti. It is not only medicine.
Correct. I think she want to refer to the allopathic medicine
Allopathic,
system.
what we can say, the modern,
Modern system.
I started my lecture that we started our thinking from Sukshma to gross.
Correct.
Om Shunyamidam Shunyatitam is not ideal for Ayurveda. Ayurveda says Om Purnat Midam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. And the modern medicine says Shunyamidam Avashishyate. If you go on dividing, after even atom, you get proton, neutron, electron, and all other things. And the smallest part, see, at last they said it is a God particle.
Great. Sir, I think there are no more questions, but I'm sure they'll have many more. Once again,
you are free to ask me anytime.
Yes.
You can recommend me my number to them. You can share my email, and I will surely try to satisfy their queries if ever in future. And I must thank you, the organizers. I thank Dr. Usha Madam, Dr. Nisha Madam, the Dr. Himanshu Sir, the principal, yourself, Dr. Anilji, and all my friends, fellow friends. Please believe your own science. Please believe your own science as well as your culture. The culture is very important for your life, and this indigenous science, Ayurveda, will help you for the healthy life. I don't want to claim any tall things. I don't want to just make claims. I will prove that Ayurveda can have an answer. Though my knowledge is limited, there are stalwarts in Ayurveda who can do miracles in Ayurvedic way. I'm sure. My sincere prayers to my Guru. I can show you Jnaneshwar Maharaj and all other things. My sincere prayer, sarvepi sukhinas santu, sarve santu niramaya,
Niramaya.
sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma
Ma
kaschit
Kaschit
dukkhamak bhavet.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end of today's program. I would like to propose a vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank Vaidya Prashant Suru sir for accepting our invitation and delivering an excellent talk touching all the perspectives of Ayurveda in terms of botany. And I'm sure our students would definitely try and implement those things, and they'll also present this in their some of the projects for coming Botanica. I thank Usha ma'am and Himanshu sir for all the motivation and encouragement and the help throughout the year and throughout our careers, and especially required for organizing this particular program. I thank all my colleagues from the department and from other departments, especially Dr. Pratibha madam, Janavi madam, Deepali madam, and Dubey sir, Bhagirath sir, Sanika madam and Ratna Jadhav madam for attending today's session. I also thank DP for his technical help, and last but not the least, all my wonderful students of TY, SY and MSc for attending today's function. Thank you one and all. Thank you, sir. Himanshu sir. Hello. Hello.
Probably he has left. He has some work.
Sir, with your permission, can I end
Yeah,
this
yeah,
program? Yeah.
we can.
Thank you, sir. Prashant sir, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I declare this particular program is over. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
SY
Thank you,
students,
sir.
they can go for the next lecture. So 1 o'clock they'll be having lecture. They can go for the lecture.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.